I am Dr. Nick, the Apostle Paul's messenger in this 21st century world.
What message would the Apostle Paul deliver to a 21st century American audience if he were alive today?
The author has written
an open letter about creation and life. By trusting God in the miracle of new life.
Greetings, this is Dr. Nick and the Apostle Paul's messenger here now in the 21st century. Two things happened this week that are total contradictions of each other. A polarization, more or less, if you want to use that word. One group is saying one thing and the other group is saying another thing. So I'm going to present both and you can make the decision. But I want to start off by saying this. We are in a spiritual battle. There's no question about it. What is at risk is the truth. People are saying, well, what is the truth? The confusion is that you have a lot of effort on one end to present one case, and you have a lot of effort on the other to present another case. And somebody has got to use some common sense and put this together. But let me just read one thing, and I'm going to have to read this because it's all new. I haven't really absorbed everything with it completely. Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has, and this is important because this man looks very carefully at what's happening with our food, with our drugs, with our water. He's trying to help us to get healthier because we've been taking in too much pollution, too many things that really rip the body apart instead of strengthening the body. Has accused the FDA, the Food and Drug Administration, of, in quote, twisting the data about the safety of the abortion pill, and he has called for a long overview of the safety of mifepristone. So he's calling for a review of that in light of what he's found out is that this data has been twisted. We didn't get the truth. And I think what's happening with many of the things we're looking at in our country now, we're finding out that people in power take it on themselves to twist the truth, make up something. They think we're not going to find out. We might find out 5 years later or 10 years later. We're finding that out with some of the stuff that went on politically in our country. But this is happening every day. It's really a major problem. Okay, this is what Kennedy said. We know that during the Biden administration, I don't say Joe Biden personally, but I'm sure he's got to take responsibility. The Biden administration, they actually twisted the data to bury one of the safety signals, a very high safety signal, about 11%. And I think what he's referring to is that the Ethics and Public Policy Center has exposed the truth about the abortion pill's so-called safety. Their study revealed that about 11% of women who take the abortion pill suffer, I'm going to use their words, this is the Ethics and Public Policy Center, serious and even life-threatening complications as a result of which include hemorrhaging and sepsis, and about 22 times higher than the FDA claims that it's only less 0.5%. And what the ethics committee says, it's at least 22% more. The FDA's claim is on the pill's label. So let me continue with this. So what we're looking at here is we have the ethics committee saying that there is misinformation on the label of the abortion pill description and what its safety requirements are. This is really big. Very big. We're at a point right now where if Secretary Kennedy now has that inclination that something is not right, we're moving in the right direction. But on the other end, I said there's polarization. the attorney generals of Massachusetts, California, New York, and New Jersey, we all know that they lean one way politically. Okay, I won't get into the politics of it, but they're claiming that the standards that are used, they call them the REMS program. Now, what that means is the R means risk, the E is evaluation and mitigation strategy. So what they're saying is that they judge the risk factors of any drug. And what these attorney generals are saying is, I'll read it right here, argue that mifepristone does not need this REMS evaluation because there's no, in his words, serious risk of the drug. Well, I don't know what world he lives in, but even the some of the surveys that have been taken, even surveys taken by Planned Parenthood, admit that there's at least 38 people that have died from this drug. So how can he say there's no serious risk? What more serious does he want than death? What we know politically is that when this drug was first marketed, that it did not go through the clinical trial periods. I've said this a million times. So it really needs to be banned. What some of these attorney generals are saying is on the other side, there's other attorney generals saying, well, it's a bad drug. Bring it back to the original restrictions that were placed on this drug back in the year 2000. Well, those restrictions were based on flawed clinical trials. So how can you go back to something that's already flawed? Doesn't make sense. This whole thing is there's politics in this, suggestions that one side is lying, the other side says the other side is lying, and it goes back and forth. Then we have the American College of OBGYN and the Family Planning Society that says basically the same thing, that these attorney generals are saying there's nothing really wrong with the drug. And then we have the manufacturer of the drug saying that we need new, robust scientific and clinical evidence that meets applicable statutory standards warranting such a change. So they're saying don't make any change because we need robust. Why didn't they do that back in 2000? Why haven't they continued to do robust studies over the last 25 years? This whole thing is a joke. So listen, what we need to do, those people that really truly believe that abortion is wrong, okay, it shouldn't be legal at all. The abortion pill hasn't been tested properly. The abortion pill is not a safe method, and women are dying because of it. They're experiencing all kinds of physical problems. So please go on to my website. Let me give it to you now. I'm going to try to put it on the bottom here, okay, when I edit this thing. But let me give it to you now anyway. I'll read it and then I'll tell you how it goes. Dr. Nick, ApostlePaulsMessenger.com. So it's DRNICK, Dr. Nick, then Apostle Paul's, no hyphen, just PAULS, Messenger. I'll repeat that. Dr. Nick, Apostle Paul's Messenger.com. Go in, there's the petition, sign it. We're going to send it to Secretary Kennedy, asking him to ban this pill completely. Not only to ban it, but take it off of the marketplace, wherever it might be, and put out the word to women in general that this is a dangerous drug and not to do it. And then if they want to go back and they want to do clinical trials the right way, which should be at least 6 to 10 years, they only gave it 6 months. They usually spend over $100 million to test something. They only gave it $8 million. So after spending $8 million, they just cut off the funding. They didn't even do long-term studies on how it would affect women who take this drug when they're in their late teens, early 20s, and then later on in life want to have a family and are having fertility problems. So they haven't studied adequately how this drug has affected women's bodies. The drug mifepristone is an anti-progesterone. It destroys the woman's natural hormones. So this is not something that you just say, well, if they want to have an abortion, that's their problem. No, we have to think about people's safety. Not only the safety of the baby, but the safety of the woman that is taking this with false information. Please get serious. Make a decision. Do you want to see this thing banned or not? If one of your daughters died because of this pill, wouldn't you want to have somebody like myself be really forceful and saying, come on, make the right choices in life? Thank you. And remember, always stay faithful. to God. Speak the truth. Support the sanctity and dignity of every human person. And remember, God made you in his likeness, his image and his likeness. He thought about you even before you were conceived. He knew who you were. He created you. Your DNA was created by God. You're unique. Trust him. He will move you forward, but don't take this pill. God bless. Thank you. So thanks for joining me today on Dr. Nick, the Apostle Paul's messenger. I hope this message touches your heart and gives you something to consider. If you enjoyed this episode, subscribe so you never miss a conversation, and click that bell. That's important, okay? And if you found value in today's discussion, please share it with your friends who might need to hear it. I'd love to hear your thoughts as well. So connect with me by emailing me at drnick, it's Dr. Nick, drnick, Apostle Paul's Messenger at gmail.com. Send in your questions and let's keep this conversation moving. Until next time, stay strong in the faith, stand firm in the truth, and remember, you are never alone on this journey. God bless.